Hey guys, welcome to my channel. In today's video, we are going to see a beautiful love story of two girls named Ria and Aya, who met in college and fell in love with each other. This video is part of a series called Love in Lockdown, where I share heartwarming stories of love and relationships during these testing times. If you enjoy feel-good stories that celebrate the power of human connection, then stay tuned because I have a lot more videos coming your way. Now let's dive into our story. We'll meet our protagonist of the story named Ria. Ria was never the kind of girl who dreamt about love. Growing up in a small town, her focus was always on studies. She wanted to make her parents proud and get a good job to support her family. She was a bright and diligent student who always put her mind to her goals. As a young girl, she never had time for crushes or boyfriends. All of her friends teased her about being too studious and not having any romantic interests, but Raya was content with her life. She knew that someday her hard work would pay off and she would be successful in whatever she chose to do. When Raya got admission to Delhi University, she was thrilled. She had always wanted to study in a big city, and she was excited for the new challenges and opportunities that awaited her. When the time came to move to Delhi, Raya was both nervous and excited. Her parents were very supportive and they knew that this was a great opportunity for her to pursue her dreams. On her first day in the girls' hostel, everything was chaotic. Girls were running around with suitcases, parents were giving last-minute advice, and wardens were shouting instructions. Amidst all the chaos, Raya managed to find her room. It was a small but clean space with 2 beds, a cupboard, and a window that overlooked the garden. Her roommate wasn't there yet, so Raya chose the bed near the window and began unpacking her clothes, arranging her books neatly. She was just settling down when she heard a soft knock on the door. She turned around and opened the door to see a girl with messy hair, dusky skin glowing in the sunset light, wearing ripped jeans and a loose black t-shirt. There was something about her eyes, fierce yet gentle. She gave Raya a small smile. "Hi, I'm Aisha. I guess we're roommates." Raya smiled back shyly. "I'm Raya. Nice to meet you." And with that, they spent the entire evening unpacking Aisha's things, talking about where they were from and what courses they had taken. As days passed, Raya and Aisha became inseparable. They ate together in the hostel mess, studied late into the night, went for morning walks in the gardens, and gossiped about professors and classmates. Raya learned that Aisha was from Mumbai and was majoring in English literature. She spoke passionately about poetry and feminist theory, and Raya found herself listening with a sense of awe. She was so confident, so alive, so free. One evening, after dinner, they sat under the old banyan tree behind the hostel. The breeze was cool, carrying the fragrance of jasmine from nearby bushes. "Raya, close your eyes," Aisha suddenly said, holding out her hand. Raya hesitated for a moment, then placed her hand in Aisha's. Aisha took out her phone and played an old romantic Hindi song. She closed her eyes and swayed gently, humming along. Raya watched her, feeling a strange warmth in her chest. She didn't know what this feeling was. It felt like happiness, but deeper, almost aching. Then Aisha stopped the music and turned to Raya, her eyes shining in the dim light. "Dance with me," she said softly. "I don't know how to dance." Raya laughed nervously. "Neither do I." Aisha smiled. "That's why it's perfect." And before Raya could respond, Aisha was pulling her into a gentle sway. They stood there under the dark sky, surrounded by the scent of rain and wet earth, swaying to the music that echoed through the silent night. Stars seemed to twinkle brighter, watching them from above. After a while, the song ended and the silence that followed was comfortable, not awkward. Raya turned to Aisha, her heart beating a little faster than usual. "What was that just now?" she whispered, her cheeks flushed. Aisha looked back at her, a soft smile on her face. "A moment," she replied simply, and for a long time they just stood there, lost in that moment. Suddenly, Raya felt a surge of emotion. She couldn't explain it, but she knew she wanted to hold on to this feeling forever. Without thinking, she leaned forward and kissed Aisha. It was a soft, trembling kiss, shy and scared, yet full of unspoken truth. When they pulled away, Aisha cupped her face gently. "I've wanted to do that since the day I saw you," she whispered. Raya's eyes filled with tears. I didn't know this is what I wanted to." Aisha smiled and kissed her again, this time with more certainty, more warmth. In that moment, under the banyan tree, with the hostel lights glowing dimly in the distance, Raya felt like she belonged for the first time in her life. From that day on, their love grew stronger. They shared everything with each other. Their dreams, their fears, their hopes for the future, and though they were both unsure about what the future held for them, they knew that as long as they had each other, they would be okay. However, they also knew that their love was a taboo in their society. They were scared of what others would say, of what their families would think, but whenever they were alone, they created a secret little world for themselves. A world where love was love, where fear didn't exist, and where two girls in a small hostel room could dream of a life that was theirs alone. One evening, as they sat by the window watching rain fall over the garden, Raya rested her head on Isha's shoulder and whispered, "Do you think we'll ever be able to live freely?" Without hiding, Aisha kissed her forehead softly. "One day, Raya, one day we will wake up in our own little house, make coffee, read poetry together, and no one will care who we love. Until then, we have each other, and that's enough for now." And with that, they sat in silence, listening to the rain, holding on to their love, a love born in a hostel room, blooming quietly like jasmine in the darkness. As the years passed, Raya and Aisha graduated from college and started their careers. They lived in a small apartment in Delhi and worked hard to achieve their dreams. Though they faced many challenges, they never gave up on their love. They knew that as long as they had each other, they could face anything. One day, Raya and Aisha decided to take a break from their busy lives and go on a vacation. They traveled to a small hill station and spent a week exploring the beautiful. They hiked to the top of mountains, strolled through the local markets, and stayed in a cozy cottage with a view of the valley. It was during this trip that Raya and Aisha realized that their love was strong enough to withstand anything. They returned home, feeling refreshed and ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead of them. One day, Raya and Aisha were invited to a party hosted by some of their friends from college. They were hesitant to go at first, but eventually decided to attend the party. At the party, they were introduced to a group of interesting people and spent the evening chatting and dancing. It was during this party that Raya and Aisha realized that they did not need to hide their love anymore. They had nothing to fear They were loved and accepted for who they were. From that day on, Raya and Aisha lived their lives openly and honestly. They were true to themselves and their love and never looked back. They continued to face challenges, of course, but they knew that as long as they had each other, they could overcome anything. And so their story goes on a testament to the fact that love can blossom in the most unexpected places, even in a small hostel room. Their love story is a reminder that no matter what challenges we face in life, as long as we have love in our lives, we can overcome anything. This is the end of our story. If you enjoyed this video and want to watch more videos like this, then please subscribe to our channel. Thank you for watching.